And good morning. Happy Monday. Welcome to How You Livin. I am Robin B. And good morning, Dr. Kiva.
Well, good morning. So how are we doing today?
We're okay by a miracle because, as you know, I was sick as a dog yesterday.
Right.
I don't know what happened. Didn't feel like allergy. It felt like I was getting really sick. My throat was sore.
Right.
I was all messed up. But I know how to doctor myself up too.
And in today's climate, if you cough,
oh yeah,
you're so paranoid.
Everybody, even in your house, like if Jeff coughs, I'm gonna like, where you been? And if I cough, he's like, so you're absolutely right. You can't cough.
You can't cough.
You can't sneeze. I mean, people are really and rightfully so. I mean, even ourselves. Like when I was feeling sick, I'm like, okay, was I around anybody I didn't know?
And you do have to be totally mindful about that.
Yeah, especially we're really at 1 million. We were the first state to hit 1 million cases.
And it's wild because when COVID first hit, it was like I saw more of it or something.
Right.
But I don't really see it as much, so I kind of forget.
Right.
Even though I'm still mindful
but that's
about
the fear. That is the fear that we do become desensitized. And you keep hearing these cases, but nobody we know personally. I mean, do you know anybody personally?
Yes.
I have really a lot.
Well, one of the girls in the office, she knew at one point, she was like, oh, I know about 30 people.
Oh,
and she knew
my
had one
goodness.
uncle who passed away.
Oh.
And then I had some classmates that had it.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Yeah, we had a couple of distant relatives who were elderly, and one of them, I think actually a few passed away.
Exactly.
So, yeah, but in Houston, nobody I know has had it since it became a big deal,
Yeah,
so.
I had a classmate I know that had it.
But we're trying to be careful. That's why.
Right.
Even, you guys see us here every week, but we're still very careful in our lives.
Exactly.
So I know people think we're being irresponsible, but we are super careful. Dr. Kiva, she runs all by herself.
Exactly.
At night. So that's one thing you have to worry. You might not have to worry about COVID, but you have to worry about being attacked. So yeah. So you do.
So you do have
I
to
worry
be
about
mindful
you.
about your surroundings.
You do.
Because you never know.
You really don't. And you said you keep your pepper spray, right?
Yeah, I keep pepper spray with
Do you
me.
practice? Like I actually practice because I don't want it, I don't want someone to come up on me and I forget, oh yeah, I have a weapon,
Yeah.
So I would like even more. Other than pepper spray,
Right.
what else do we know how to do?
And then when you start to get into stress response, and you go into your sympathetic system,
Right.
and that's called fight, flight, or
Right.
freeze. And you might freeze in a situation because of not knowing. Because I was running one time,
Exactly.
and this guy, it wasn't anything. So he was running towards me.
Okay.
And the thing I did was I was like, oh, and I just kind of froze.
We all do that.
And so you don't really know what you would do in a situation, when
especially
you need to
if you're
protect
a
yourself.
peace-loving person like you and me. So we're not automatically ready to put our dukes up, So I definitely want to. I always feel like this. If it's me or them, I'm going to do whatever I can do to save my life. But is that real? Is that realistic?
Yeah.
Will we do that in a real life?
Exactly.
So
where you do the whole thing, stomp on the toe.
Right. And my dad spent all of my childhood teaching us how to fight against boys. He always did. And he always said, stick your knuckle right in their throat. But who's going to remember that,
Well, I know this one, it was a girl who went to school with me. And so she could not go on a date until she was a black belt.
I love that idea.
Her father wouldn't let her go on any dates, and then when she was a black belt, so she was about 16, then she can start to go on dates.
I have a niece, my daughter-in-law's niece. She is a black belt because of that, and they said she likes to. I said, does she use it like as a toy? Like come on, start something. But I think you probably have some kind of rule once you become a black belt. You can't just start a fight. I would think because we'd all be starting fights.
Like just start a fight just because.
So I think that it's important for us to know how to protect ourselves. I am very concerned about the young women in our family because they're not so aware of their surroundings.
Right.
And like I told you recently, there have been so many missing young women. I mean, I know hundreds of them have been missing and no one's found them. There's actually a website specifically for young black women who have disappeared because they don't make the news.
Right.
So it's important for us to know how to defend ourselves. You know?
Yeah, because like we were saying before, like with the whole human trafficking, you really don't know what's going on.
Right.
You know, you really
don't.
You really don't.
Yeah. And so, I'm telling you, I want you to watch that movie. It's kind of crazy. Antebellum. I told you about that movie.
Right.
It is. She's like a big, huge, successful author. And somehow she gets kidnapped, maybe she gets knocked out, and she wakes up, she's on a plantation. Yeah, she's like, so I'm like, is it back in time? I thought it was science fiction. No, it was current day.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so please watch that movie. And so what she found out were all these other famous people in current day. Okay, it's mind-blowing. You please watch it. It's worth seeing.
So today is Monday, Security Monday.
All about security. All about cyber and then physical. And I think because with the holidays coming up, that seems to be a spike. I think crime seems to be more of a spike during the holiday. Mm-hmm. People have a lot of money. They have bags. They're shopping. They're not focused.
Right.
And then cybersecurity has always been a big issue.
Exactly. So today we'll have guests that are going to talk about how to protect yourself through both cyber, physically, especially like with the holiday, like you were saying. Yeah. You know, women will carry bags and put them in the car and then go to
they're
the
on
store,
their phone.
On their phone.
Absolutely.
I always tell my mother, get off your phone.
That's right.
Make sure you know what's going on in your surroundings.
Yeah. So I'm hoping we learn a few things on how to protect ourselves.
Exactly. So join us. And after, we'll take a little break and we'll talk to our security guys to tell us how to protect ourselves on How You Livin.
Yes. First, we'll start with cyber, and then we will come back with physical. So we'll be back in a second, guys.
We work our whole lives to support our families. With one accident or illness, it can all be gone in an instant. Now there's a smart, affordable way to protect your family. Go to findhealthbenefits.com and discover low-cost life insurance for as little as $2 per month. Add to that a tax-deferred annuity that can help you protect your assets and grow your money for retirement. Learn more. Go to findhealthbenefits.com or call 877-235-6094. A critical illness can strike without warning and wipe out your life savings. In fact, it's the #1 reason for bankruptcy. Find Health Benefits offers an affordable solution. Get up to $50,000 if you get cancer, stroke, or a heart attack, giving you the peace of mind to focus on getting better while the plan helps you to pay your bills and medical expenses. Learn more. Go to findhealthbenefits.com or call 877-235-6094. 66% of seniors spend more time shopping for cable TV than Medicare plans. Most say because it's just too confusing. Laws change every year. The wrong plan could cost you thousands and prevent you from seeing the doctors you want. Introducing FindHealthBenefits.com. Save time, save money, see specialists without referrals. Go to FindHealthBenefits.com or call 877-235-6094 for this informative brochure.
Society is on the edge. Let's bring them back. Edge Radio, because truth still matters.
Are you a small business owner concerned about the downturn in the economy? Top business leaders like Mattress Mac and Warren Buffett will tell you that now is the time to promote your business more than ever. People need your services. Your business needs an edge. Learn about special advertising packages for small businesses right here on Edge Radio. Find out more, give us a call at 281-744-0446. That's 281-744-0446. Edge, because truth still matters.
And we are back, and today one of our guests, our first guest, is Mr. Charles Tran, and Charles is the CEO of Live Mobile Technology. Welcome. We're happy to have you here.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah.
Thanks for inviting me.
Absolutely. We figured this is the time of year we need to hear from people like you.
Yeah.
So tell us about what you do.
So, good morning.
Good morning.
It's very important. I like to come out just to let you guys know that we work on many cybersecurity from residential to commercial.
Okay.
So my role is I'm the CEO of the company Live Mobile Technology. Mm-hmm. We do cybersecurity, we do access controls, anything security. Mm-hmm. We also do alarm systems and CCTV and surveillance, and that's our technology. Pretty much that is the gist of our company and what I do.
That's cool. So your background is very extensive, right? I know you have a lot of certifications.
Yes.
And your schooling was it in technology as well?
Yes. My major is computer information systems.
Okay.
In Los Angeles. I'm a Californian.
Okay.
And
how long has Live Mobile been alive?
Well, it's been around 12 years.
Okay, okay. That's pretty cool. And so I know one really fun fact about you, and that is you got to work with NASA and cool. SpaceX or something, SpaceX. Right? So
HPF.
Is that like the Elon Musk deal?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That was one of the Falcon 9 rockets. We did all 160 cameras security system for HPF.
Wow.
HPF builds, it's called Houston Precision Fastener.
Okay.
And what they do is they build the fasteners, the bolts, and all the things that holds the Falcon 9 rockets together.
Okay. So how'd it go? It didn't blow up, right? I know something went out this weekend. He had some successful launch this weekend.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I actually.
So is that your handiwork?
Oh, well,
take credit. Take credit.
We're only doing the security side.
So now he didn't even go, right, because of possible exposure to COVID or something.
Wow.
I heard, yes.
Is that really?
Yeah, he was.
I didn't know that.
He had.
Okay.
But I'm
impossible.
sure.
Wow.
Yeah. Who knows?
Wow.
Yeah.
So I want to know what is more dangerous. I should say, who is the more susceptible, individuals or businesses?
Okay, you're talking about just security
for cybersecurity.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna read you a little statistics that I found.
Okay.
You guys.
We like facts.
During the COVID-19 pandemic. Guess what's the percentage of cyber crime? Of course, it went
Has it gone up? Okay, it's gone up a lot.
600%.
Right. Oh my goodness.
Cybersecurity and crime has gone up 600% during this pandemic.
Whoa.
Why?
That is because a majority of the
people are home with nothing else to do but learn.
I don't know the exact answer,
right.
but psychologically they don't have a job.
Right.
They're at home,
and so
the kids are at home, and majority of the youth are actually part of that cyber.
Okay, so it's mischief, and then it's also people trying to get over, right? It's also people doing it for monetary reasons.
And I think that also the fact that we are at home, we're shopping more at home, we're exposing ourselves to even more people being able to get our information.
There's a lot of statistics that shows you, and I'm going to read you this other statistics.
Okay.
There are 80,000 cyber attacks per day.
Oh my goodness!
Okay.
Just not in America. You mean in America or everywhere?
This is worldwide.
Okay.
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 According to CSS, which is the Cybersecurity Statistics, and FTC.
Okay.
But FTC is only a portion of them
Right.
from America. But 30 million attacks per day.
Okay.
I mean, per year, excuse me.
That's a lot. That's
30
a lot.
million attacks.
So you
That's
stay
in
busy.
A normal year without.
That is
COVID.
as of 2018.
Oh
I'm reading
my
the stats
goodness!
as
So
of
it's out of
2018.
control
So
right
this
now.
is the question I have. Should I call you Charles? Or
Yeah.
Charles.
Okay, Charles. So I always tell my mother when she gets an email, just don't open any email
Yeah.
because is there something to that? You know.
Just and you mean just don't open any old
Feel
email?
Like if you open
Yeah.
an email, are you exposing yourself?
Well, obviously you have to read your email. You know,
Right.
Yeah. Right.
You have loved ones emailing
Uh-huh.
you. You have companies that requires you to pay for bills and stuff like that.
Right.
Right.
The most important thing is to educate yourself. This
Right.
is very important. You have to educate, not just because, oh, well, I have an antivirus protection, but is your antivirus protection up to date?
Right.
Is that antivirus secure enough?
Right.
Is it
Okay.
reputable antivirus? There are antivirus out there that are not reputable.
Right.
Mhm.
So,
So-
are there some antivirus that you would say don't use? Like
Well,
isn't Kaspersky?
There is a.
That's
literally
Russian.
Probably
Right.
Kaspersky is.
Kaspersky, yeah,
Yes,
Kaspersky.
it is
It's
a
Russian.
Russian program.
So is that a good idea for
Well,
us to
because
even sell that?
We don't.
It is
Just
from
because
Russia.
Something is Russian doesn't necessarily mean it's automatically in a
Well-
bad
Well,
category, does it?
If it smells like
There-
a cat and it
there are-
meows like a cat.
There are state actors out there, and I'm going to
Thank
use the
you.
word right now. The name of the person who is a criminal, cybersecurity criminal, is
Uh-huh.
called threat actor.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what they're called.
They're called
like
threat
hackers.
actors.
These are hackers,
They're
right?
hackers, but there's a name for that.
Okay.
So threat actors can be criminals. They could
Uh-huh.
be state sponsored, like Russia,
Right.
Iran, and stuff like that.
Right.
So what you have to understand is how do you protect yourself?
Right.
Educate yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Go online just to make sure you're being protected by having a good antivirus protection.
Absolutely.
Now, the other, I'm sure you guys, with your passwords,
Uh-huh.
is very important. Do you have all your
Oh.
passwords all across the board that if your bank, you have the same
Right.
password for the bank, you have
Yeah.
the same password for your email? Do you have that? The answer should be no.
Well, unfortunately, that's not
Especially
true.
That's a big
bank,
mistake.
I let bank have its own password, even
That's
though I
right.
might kind of
That's
use some other
smart.
stuff, like
That's
for my
very
Netflix,
important.
Okay.
whatever.
So do you
But
have a
bank is by
service?
itself.
What would you recommend? Like I know some people use Pass. There's an app for passwords.
LastPass.
LastPass.
There's all kinds of,
Okay.
it's called password managing software.
I need
Make
some
sure
of
it
that. I
has-
need that.
It has an encryption. It's
Okay.
called 256-bit encryption.
Okay.
And there's a few out there called Dashlane is another one I recommend.
Okay.
It has a very high level of security
Okay.
for password protection and two-step verification.
I
Everything
agree
you
with
do
that. I
is
do
called
that.
multi-factor authentication.
Okay.
Obviously, you know when
Yes.
you sign into your phone from your Google,
Mm-hmm.
very first
It's
time,
going to ask you.
it's going to send you a text saying someone has signed in. Obviously, you can do one of two ways: confirm it via email or confirm it on your text.
Mhm.
Right. So that's very important. So that's another education that you have to
Right.
understand is every device or every computer, everything that you try to log in, make sure you have very strong password, complex password.
Yes.
Obviously, the 123 or
Right,
password
right.
123
Oh,
that won't
change
work.
me 1, 2, 3.
No, at all.
Now
So
that's
So I see that you have an Apple, and so
Yes.
I also did have a Mac.
mhm.
And so Mac supposedly has its own kind of security system.
It has one of the better
yeah.
kind of security system in the fact that it uses Linux.
Uh-huh.
Okay, Linux is an environment on the Mac, FreeBSD. Okay,
Uh-huh.
but what it is Apple is on top of their security. They do updates all the time, and that's why you need to
Yeah.
update your
Right.
phone.
It's constantly
You have
updating.
to
Yes, in
constantly
there.
update,
So
yes.
what
Right.
do you think about the Apple program, because it will save your passwords?
Apple has their own. It has an encryption.
Right.
I use
so,
Google
All
Chrome.
their passwords has
I
encryptions.
mean, because since I have an Apple computer
Yes.
and an Apple phone
Uh-huh.
and an iPad, it's basically it'll hook everything
Right.
up and it'll save the passwords
Right.
for me.
We only use Apple as well. I got like a MacBook
MacBook
Pro
yeah,
or something.
yes.
Now, before we run out of time, I also definitely want to talk about home security
Mhm.
because that's a big deal.
Mhm.
I when we were living in apartments, me and all my sisters,
Mhm.
we would never live on the first floor
Mhm.
because we were always concerned about that. So, what is going on? Has that become more prevalent?
Oh,
Burglaries?
And even with that, is it possible? Because I was seeing this one show that they had cameras that they bought like off of someplace, and somebody was able to hack into their camera and look inside their house.
Ew! That's why I won't have an indoor camera.
Well,
I will not.
Let me explain to you.
Our phones are bad enough.
It's again back to education.
Right.
Okay. So you have to understand, having a security camera doesn't necessarily mean being safe.
Right.
But having a security camera that you need to know how to protect your password.
Yes.
That's your problem. So, for example, if you have an installer. If I ever.
He's my installer. Let's keep. Full disclosure. Okay.
We install security system, and we always tell and educate our client. And by the way, to even install a security system, do not hire anyone without a security license.
Right. Right.
Our company
Don't
is.
ask your cousin Ray to come hook it up for you. You bought it off Amazon. Yeah, you can't do that.
If you do by accident, by chance, and obviously it's illegal in the state of Texas to have someone to come out and install.
I never knew that.
It could be an imposter.
I never knew that.
Has a criminal record, and that could be a problem.
Okay.
So back to the subject. We're vetted. Our company is licensed, and obviously we're insured.
Right.
So if there's anything like we drill a hole into the wall, and if there's a leak, we have a security a license that we can. And an insurance that will protect your property and stuff like that in case of that event that happened. But knock on wood, we haven't had that problem.
Right.
We've done thousands of camera installation. But back to the question, what is the security involved with your cameras?
Right.
Here's the answer, really simple. Number one, anyone who installed the cameras, you tell them that you have, as an installer, they have to give you the right to change your own password.
Absolutely.
When they're done, you don't even have to explain to them. You just download the app. So it could be Ring.
Right.
We also do Ring security. We're also a licensed and authorized dealer for Rings and Deep Sentinel. Okay. Deep Sentinel security is one of the other Ring technology with one technology where it actually monitors at night. So if you're sleeping at night, Ring will always remind you, right?
Okay.
But that's too late. What happens at 4 o'clock in the morning? Someone breaks in.
Right.
Right. Deep Sentinel has a live guard that watch over the whole premise. And then if someone comes in, has an artificial intelligence camera system that catches either it's a cat, dog, or a human. If it's a human, live guard is notified. He intervenes and he sees if there's another person that is not the owner of the house, he'll call out and say, "This is private property. I need to know who you are. Say your name." And actually ask you a few questions just to make sure you're the owner.
What is this? What's this system called?
Deep Sentinel. So,
is it very expensive?
We'll definitely sit down and explain.
Okay. Is it for homes or for businesses?
It is a subscription base.
Okay.
So it's like having a security guard.
Wow.
This is indoor and outdoor.
You can always put it around your perimeter.
Is it like a
we
robot?
Always recommend,
It's like a robot?
It is not a robot. It's a live guard.
Oh, it's a real person.
But the camera has an artificial intelligence chip.
Man.
It actually it detects whether it's a dog, cat, or a human being. If it sees a human being, it would notify the security guard. And the security guard actually gets online, intervene online, real time.
But that's speaking to someone who's necessarily in a house.
Right.
So what about someone who's in an apartment?
Sure. So, regardless of the apartment or not, you kind of angle your camera either
so you can have that
in your house or in the front of your
door, right? Right. So wherever the entrance is. Okay.
And he will, and then if it detects a human, the guard will ask you who you are. Okay. Obviously, you have to answer. Right. It's Robin. It's me. I'm the owner. If that's the case, the guard will ask you a password.
Great. Okay.
Mr. Charles Tran, the only problem that I have with indoor cameras, I just have to make sure I'm dressed properly.
Thank you. I wouldn't do an indoor camera. Really? That's right. Whoops. I forgot.
There's a privacy mode.
Okay.
You push privacy, it turns off the camera, the guard doesn't even look at you.
So when you're home, you could turn it off,
There's a privacy mode,
Okay. Now, if you're home and someone breaks in, and the camera's off, what do you do?
Well, obviously...
It should be voice activated.
Again, back to education. Okay? It sounds really,
elementary, right?
It's very important.
Okay.
Every time you're talking about security,
right?
So the first thing about security is you're the only person securing your home.
Okay.
So you have to make sure.
Okay. I agree with that. I agree with that. So what would you recommend us? What is the best thing we could do, number one, to protect our computers and to protect our homes? Are there some basic
I have 5
principles? Okay.
Yeah, there's hundreds of ways.
Okay.
Right.
I'm just going to give you 5 basic concepts.
Okay.
One,
Okay.
have a good antivirus.
Okay. Have a good antivirus.
On a computer,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
On a Mac, of course, there's a security. You can install that on a Mac if you want to.
Okay.
PC or Mac. Okay. Number 2, change your password to every single password you have. Do not leave it the same.
Okay.
All across the board. If your bank, you have a separate password for the bank. You have a separate password for the email. Because if a hacker hacks into one account, he's going to use all the emails.
Okay.
And the password.
So you would recommend getting password software because that's the only way a human's going to do it.
Software is called Dashlane.
Most of the time I forget my password.
Oh, I do too. That's why all the time.
I use Dashlane for mine.
Okay, that's good to know.
It's very secure.
Dashlane.
Yeah, it has an encryption. It's very important. Okay. Not all password managing software are the same.
Okay.
I've just been writing mine down.
Oh, I have
That's the worst.
Yeah.
Because, I've seen post it right there. I'm
right.
Like, oh,
right.
Number 3 is you don't use your computer, you don't use your phone, turn it off.
Okay.
Turn off the camera.
I always put a sticky over my camera all the time anyway.
Always.
Okay.
And it doesn't mean that your computer has been hacked.
Right.
It's just a precaution.
It's a good idea.
It's a precaution. Because hackers can, by accident, you can go to a website by chance and click on an icon.
Right.
That icon was to say, click onto the next page. That is a script as a malware.
Okay.
It downloads a little virus in your machine.
Okay.
And it can turn on the cameras and so on. I mean, there's a million ways
so
an intruder can get into that.
I feel like I've heard that if you're on your computer and you start to see that there's some malware, the best thing is just immediately to unplug it from the wall.
That is true.
Really?
But regardless, it's already inside your computer.
Oh, man.
Okay. Antivirus is the first line of defense. Okay. Antivirus, there's also 2 types of antivirus. There's an anti-malware and anti-spyware. That's one category. The other one's an antivirus.
Okay, so what's ransomware?
Sure.
So did we do all 5?
Oh, you hit all 5?
No, I'm going to finish. Thank you for asking. Thank you, Dr. Kiva.
It keeps us on track.
That's actually number 4. Number 5 is, like I mentioned, the 2-step verification on your phone, on any device.
Okay.
That is just 5 most important things that you can protect your computer with.
Okay, great.
Thank you for that, Dr.
That's good. Now can I ask him about ransomware? Because I keep hearing malware, ransomware. What
ransomware and malware. A malware is all kinds of virus, malware, spyware, and that program can infect your machine.
Right.
The word infection means it can spread their software, and it can implement all kinds and can be very detrimental.
And that's a lot of those videos when people say, click on this video. And I tell my mom, do not send videos because you never know which ones are real.
Yes.
But now I read that ransomware is sort of what it sounds like. They will hack you if you don't do something they want you to do.
Ransomware is a form of malware. The difference with a ransomware is very simple.
Okay.
Once it gets in your computer, it doesn't do anything. It starts taking all your files and it hijacks it.
Oh my goodness! So why do they call it ransomware?
And then one day you turn back on the machine, it says, you have to pay us.
Yeah, that's
and
what
there's a few ways. It says you have about 10 days, whatever.
Anonymous is fancy. They're famous for that, right? Remember Anonymous?
Yeah,
they're famous for that. They did that with the Korean movie. Remember the interview?
Yeah.
And so they hacked Sony because they hated the movie. That's pretty. Oof.
It's the North Koreans.
Yeah, that was wild. I know we're running out of time, but we definitely would hope for you to come back.
Yeah, sure.
Because
give us all your social media.
How can people get a hold of you?
So my website is www.livemobiletechnology.com, and obviously you just look up livemobiletechnology.com, and we're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, pretty much everywhere. Google, of course.
And do you have a number where if people want to get some information from you?
My direct line is 832-612-2215. And that's goes to my office. Our office is in Richmond, Texas. And
are you still in Richmond? I thought you guys moved to Katy.
On Mason Road.
Oh, that's still
Sold
Richmond.
the building.
Wonderful.
Bought a new building.
Yeah, big things are happening over there.
Nice.
We want to thank you so much. We really appreciate you coming.
Yeah, especially in security for
It's so important.
computers and everything, because like you said, that's going to be a big hack because the holidays are coming up.
Yeah, we're going to definitely. So hopefully you'll come back because
Sure.
things are always changing in the cyber world, so we need to be on top of it.
I know we're going to have Cyber Mondays.
Yeah. Oh,
Cyber
I like
Mondays.
that idea. Matter of fact, we'll probably have you after Cyber
hang
Monday.
out. I'll hang out every Monday.
Because we
Okay.
need to, Cyber Monday is going to be interesting this year.
I know, right?
Charles Tran, thank you so much. We appreciate you
Thank you
very
for
much.
having me. Thank you.
Guys, when we come back, we're going to have security part number 2, which is all about physical. So get ready, and we'll come back with Officer Trailer. Be right back.
The Natural Nation Network is really about taking control of your health physically, spiritually, emotionally, even intellectually, because there's so much out there in misinformation. There's a lot of people now that are suffering from all sorts of diseases that they really wouldn't have to suffer for if they had better information. And that's what we're here to do. Provide information that can save lives.
The mind and the body are totally connected.
Health can be really serious, and sometimes we just have to lighten it up a little bit while we're still providing substantive information. And my sort of mantra on the salsa dance floor is kind of similar. I tell somebody, if you make a mistake twice, it becomes a move. Okay?
Tune into Natural Nation every Tuesday at 11 a.m.
Don't push me because I'm close to the edge.
I'm trying not to lose my head.
Hey, this is the Talk About Unity show where I bring the talk.
And I bring the unity.
And together we talk about unity. Unity is what matters.
Come on.
And right now in our country, that's what we've got to do. So we do that here at Talk About Unity on the Edge Radio Network. Be with us every week.
It's going to be awesome. It always is. And I tell you what, the more we seek first to understand, then be understood, we make progress.
And we like to do that. And that's why everybody's on the brink. We love what we do at Edge Radio because everybody's on the edge. We bring them back from the edge and we bring the unity. So we're just glad to Edge Radio Network every Tuesday morning, 10 a.m. Talk about unity because here at Edge Radio Network, truth still matters.
And welcome back to How You Living Security Monday. So we have with us Officer Trailer, and he's gonna talk to us about being secure physically.
Yes, yes.
So tell us a little bit about you. Welcome to the show.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate it. Good morning, everybody. Well, I'm Traylor. I'm the Director of Operations at Texas Crime Prevention Agency. That's where we do the physical security. I'm also the instructor, so I teach self-defense tactics to not only civilians, but law enforcement and military personnel as well. I've been in the martial arts since I was 5. I'm 56 now. So,
So
I've
you
been
can
doing
kick
it a
some
while.
butt, obviously.
The names are optional.
So basically, martial arts, you teach firearms training?
Yes, firearms training, both long gun and short, which means rifle, shotgun, or handgun.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
So martial arts, that's such a huge umbrella. Is
Yes.
there any specialty that you have?
Well, I have several black belts in different systems, but the system that I've put together has a very short learning curve. Unlike traditional martial arts or combative sports, there's rules and regulations. In combatives or reality-based self-defense, the only rule is survive.
Right.
So we cheat first, cheat in the middle, and we cheat last.
Whoa. So do like I said, when I was growing up, my dad used to say the first thing you do if someone could say you put your knuckle to their throat. Is that useful?
Yes, actually, it's soft tissue targeting. That's what I teach. So we talk about eyes, throat, groin, and temple. Then we go to tertiary targets, which are like elbows, shoulders, joints. That can hurt someone effectively.
So is there an age from?
Because of what I teach,
right?
It's about 11 years old.
Okay.
Or older, simply because a lot of the techniques that I'm teaching are very damaging.
Oh my!
How long is the training? Or
well, our level 1, which is escape and evade, is 6 to 8 weeks. Wow. And that doesn't mean it takes 6 to 8 weeks to do it. It means that you'll be proficient in that time. You will be able to apply what I taught you within 2 hours, because it's off the gross motor skill set. The flinch drill, as you were kind of talking about what the body does under a situation where you're being attacked, your adrenaline starts to flow, your blood starts to thicken, your eyes become bigger, you become focused, tunnel vision, your ears preclude anything from your tunnel vision, and that's what we want. And a lot of people say, oh, I don't know what I would do in that situation.
Right.
Well, the way that I teach, especially because I teach security and law enforcement and civilians, that fight or flight response, we purposely put you what we call under the fire. We put you in a situation where it inoculates you to that traumatic event.
Fantastic.
Okay? As opposed to, and I'm not knocking traditional martial arts, I have that background, but we don't put you in a sterile environment. I put you in a very confrontational environment where you have to think quickly, speak quickly, and act quickly. And that's one of the most important things, especially like I'll use security and law enforcement where you have to talk about the cautionary gap, right? It's a cautionary gap that you got to keep someone. For security or for civilians is the reactionary gap. I'm reacting to a bad situation. Okay, and we talk about the 3 Ds: detect, diffuse, defend, or destroy. Right? So detecting a problem, verbally diffusing it, or physically diffusing it by going around that situation or doing something else.
So would that be reality-based martial arts?
Correct.
Okay.
Everything is on scenario based.
Okay.
So let's say that I taught you the block pass pin. Okay, so now how would that work in the real world? Because in the classroom or in the dojo, here's how it works. But then I'd run a scenario. I tell one of my students, do whatever. Now you have to adapt, because not everything's going to go A, B, C.
Right. Right.
That's right. So
expect the unexpected.
we have to train you to think quickly and adapt quickly. Okay.
So have any of your students come back and given you a success story?
Oh, yes, ma'am.
I'd love to hear something like
we
that.
had a young lady that was going overseas to Italy, Spain, and touring Europe. And her mother said, can you train my daughter? I go, sure, not a problem. We do what we do, micro camps, which is like 2 weekends in a row of 8 hours of intense training.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
That's heavy.
And
Wow.
I taught her improvised weapons. Okay. What's an improvised weapon? Well, a pen. Okay, if you have a water bottle, strike the water bottle to the throat, neck, okay, any soft tissue.
Okay.
Well, she was in a park in Italy with her friend that was allowing her to stay as she was touring. Well, someone accosted both of them at the park, and she happened to have the water bottle and hit the gentleman just up under the jaw. He dropped, she ran. Well, her friend was so traumatized, she froze.
Yeah, she needed your class.
She ran back, grabbed her, and took off. And then her mother called me, and I remember I was going up my stairs at home. She goes, "My daughter was attacked. My heart sank." I was like, "Oh no!" But thank you, because what you taught her, she's home. And so I have that testimony on my website.
That's beautiful.
But it
and you have some bad stories
shows
that they come after the
so
fact.
when you were saying that for the training, you said it's different phases. You said the first phase.
Phase 1 is called escape and evade.
Okay.
The level of training and what I'm teaching you is just be able for you to get away to that situation. It's not to stay engaged. Level 2, well, that's different. Maybe you have your daughter, your mother, your brother, your cousin, your boyfriend, whatever, your significant other. Running is not an option.
Right.
Now you have to stay
to protect someone else.
To protect someone else.
So do you also do something in, like, we recently had a guest who talked about domestic violence. Do you teach women how to fight?
Yes.
Or men, for that matter?
Yeah, actually we did a thing for the women's shelter.
That's so
a while back.
Good. I mean, that should
on domestic violence. And
fantastic.
You have to understand, people get upset with me when I talk about self-defense because, well, why are you so violent? And I go,
the world is violent.
That's right.
Right. It's defense, not offense. Right.
And what some of the things that I teach is like an eye jab.
Okay.
Okay. Now you take an average woman, you take an average male. If I'm teaching you to punch, I'm giving you false sense of security.
Right.
Because your arms are not strong enough to really hurt me. All you're going to do is piss someone off.
That's true.
That's all you're going to do. So as a female or as a small male like me, how can I drop a 240-pound guy? Soft tissue target, eyes, throat, and all you got to do is look at combative sports. You see an eye get hit in the eye, he can get kicked, punched, everything else, he's fine. In the eye, everything stops.
That's true.
So why would people? How could they possibly be upset about?
Because it's violent.
I mean, considering that you're trying to attack me.
Right.
It's violent. I've never met someone who's trying to hurt me that wasn't violent.
Exactly.
Right. Exactly.
So, but people do get upset, and they say, "Well, why can't I just do this and this and this?" I go, "Wait, he's got a knife, and you're asking not to hurt him?"
That brings me to another question. So, if someone comes at me with a knife and I have no weapon, how do I defend myself?
Well, there's
training.
Yeah, there's a lot of variables there. There's a lot of variables, but again, detecting the problem.
But is there a way to do that? Do you teach that, how to disarm somebody?
We do both. Weapon disarmament, weapon procurement.
Okay.
Okay. Strip and keep, strip and send.
Is that in phase 1? Is there only 2 phases?
No, there's 4 phases.
Okay.
In the hand-to-hand. Okay. We have the hand-to-hand discipline, the edge weapon discipline, the blunt force weapon discipline, and then the firearm.
Okay.
And then we're talking about those disciplines not only standing up, but in ground.
Okay.
So there's ground combatives there. Because if I tackle you, say to rape you, then you should know what to do. If your training was all standing up, now you're screwed.
So if a woman's under the guy, he's already got her down, there's a way for her to defend herself.
And I'll put it this way. I teach to bite.
Oh, okay.
I teach eyes.
Got
I teach groin smashes.
To do whatever it takes.
Right. There's no playing here. There's no second chances in a life and death situation.
Strategic.
It's all strategic.
Okay.
Do you know the any kind of numbers on how many people are getting attacked yearly, like men, women?
I don't. Well, I know recently, within the last, I think it was robberies went up to 13,000.
Oh my God!
Just within this year.
I'm not surprised
because of COVID. I know on with Texas Crime Prevention Agency, we do physical security, and there's been a big spike in break-ins of vehicles. It's been, and this was before the holiday season, because the holiday season is coming,
it's gonna get
and it's going to spike even more. but we've had people just, people are scared right now.
Right.
And people
are frustrated.
Yes, exactly.
There's a lot of bad emotions going on.
Exactly.
In this country.
And fear. I mean, financially, there's a lot of turmoil there.
Exactly.
People that wouldn't normally smash and grab are now smashing and grabbing.
Absolutely. I think most of the time
it's self-preservation.
You have to be mindful of what you're doing because things happen just because someone left the door open to give an opportunity.
Exactly.
Right.
Because at one point there was a lot of people who used to say what people would smash into someone's door and like break in that way.
Yeah, that's still happening.
You mean home invasions?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh my God! What a scary
we were at a property. I was doing patrol that night, and there was a young female and a young male home. Guy kicked in the back door, grabbed a Mac actually from the little desk that was right by the back door and ran.
Oh my goodness.
As I was patrolling coming back around, they told me law enforcement arrived 10, 15 minutes later, but that's after the fact.
Yeah.
She couldn't believe it. He couldn't believe it. Now, he was an LTC, so he went in to grab the gun, but by the time he came back, he was already gone and up the street. So crime has spiked, and it's due because, again, people are panicking.
Yeah.
They're not making the money. They're laid off, and they got to do whatever they got to do.
What about human trafficking? Now, have you had experiences with that?
Yes, through another organization that I'm with, they do nothing but. He's part of the human trafficking thing that you
like a task force.
That and he's told me that it's real bad.
Well, I keep hearing that. Right?
It
that's
is
like one of my biggest concerns.
A lot of the women that are disappearing are from a very low income neighborhood. Some are streetwalkers, and them being missing is no big deal. No, there's no one to say that they're missing.
There's nobody looking for them. Absolutely.
Exactly.
So that is really one of the, especially for young women right now, they're busy on their phone. What can they do is there anything they could do that you could say right now that would help them from being kidnapped?
You probably even teach how to use the phone as a weapon.
Yes, ma'am.
That's good. So let's say you're on the phone, you're walking to your car, and somebody comes up behind you, or a van pulls up right next to you.
Well, actually, that's what happened. Yeah, okay. There's a program, a discipline that I teach called the 15 Seconds of Danger.
Okay.
That 15 Seconds of Danger is the FBI statistics that takes you from your car being parked to get inside a supermarket.
Okay.
About 15 seconds.
Right.
Okay, well, there's things that you do. For example, the shopping cart that you use. When you go up, a lot of people will do that, open their trunk, and their back is to whatever.
Right.
And anything can happen, right? So what I teach women and men to do is go ahead and put the cart there, pop it, but have the cart between you and your trunk.
Okay.
And angle yourself. Don't turn your back on anything or anybody.
Good.
Okay.
You hear that, folks?
Listen. You have to be aware of your surroundings.
Right, you do.
That's why we talk about the 3Ds: detecting a potential situation.
Okay, detecting.
Okay. If you're in your phone, you're not paying attention to what's going on.
It's really bad.
I get off the phone.
You see people almost get hit by a car because they will not lift their head up across the street.
I'm like, get off the phone.
So that's one, detecting.
Detecting the problem, putting a barrier between you and the potential assailant.
Okay.
Third is be prepared.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of people say, well, violence isn't the answer. When it is, it's the only answer.
Right.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
So be prepared to be mean.
Right.
Be prepared to be vicious.
To save your life.
And
to do what it takes.
And here's the thing that I have when I'm instructing either security officers or civilian or law enforcement for that matter. Military personnel is totally different. They're in a different mindset.
Right.
You wake up in the morning saying, okay, I got to get some eggs, get some milk, this, right? A thief wakes up in the morning, his mindset is, who am I going to take money from and who am I going to hurt?
Right. Or
so
rapist.
even though I train you, physically you might be able to beat this guy, but mentally you're not ready for the game.
Right. You're thinking eggs, he's thinking murder.
Right. Exactly. Right. So my instructor said, you got to turn on the killer instinct. It's like a light switch.
I
Boom.
agree.
Now your mental is up here and his is down here because you're going to meet him with all the ferocity you have.
Right. And he won't be prepared for that.
No.
Yeah, because there's been times that people have come into my space, even though I'm kind of like,
chill.
Real quick, I'm like, hey, back up.
You have to. You really do.
You can switch up real quick.
Right. And that's the thing. People think that they're going to be okay. Oh, it's not that bad. I live in a good neighborhood. And, oh, I got my gun or whatever. And I'm like, well, the gun doesn't start off in your hand.
That's right. That's right.
So how can people get in contact with you? So if they want to go through
the class? Like me.
Well, a lot of what we do, we go through Texas Crime Prevention Agency. We go through them. We use their facility, my gear, and you'll be training along with security, law enforcement, special operations team. It's just, I mean, the people is that come together is crazy.
Do you have a phone number where folks can get a hold of you, or where we could schedule something?
Yeah, you can contact me there.
All right, folks, if you're listening, let's just put this up for
346.
Okay, 346-235-8213. That's 346 area code 235-8213, Texas Crime Prevention Agency, and you teach civilians.
Is always starting?
No, it's by appointment, especially if you're civilian.
Okay.
Because we got to make sure, because this is physical, and so.
Can we go to a website and look at, like, say we want to see what type of class we want to take?
Yeah, you can go to.
Is it Dark Gift?
Yeah, you can look that up, Dark Gift Combat.
Okay, Dark Gift Combat.
And you'll see what we feature as far as what disciplines we have. There's several disciplines that we teach for women and men.
Thank you. You know you're going to see us.
Yeah.
Hope so.
We'll be there together, because I'm going to have to drag her. She takes me to yoga. I'm going to take her to combat. Perfect combo. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
This was super important. And we will, hopefully everybody could get something out of this, because we're just trying to save some lives.
Yes,
really.
For sure.
We appreciate you. Thank you very much. All right, guys, we appreciate you being here. We hope you learned something today, and we will be back next week. And in the meantime, what we got to ask them? How you living? Bye-bye.